Right, now the title of this lesson is Forest, but really what we're going to look at is not just a forest like this. We're actually going to look at how to create atmosphere and mood. It's not just about painting mechanically and putting elements down on the canvas. And you can see where I've already prepared this canvas by putting some phthalo blue and white streaked downwards, and then a little bit more of the same colours with a little bit of lemon yellow added. We're going to use this photograph of the trees purely to show you that painting trees that disappear out of the top of the picture isn't a problem, isn't going to cut the picture off, and in fact is going to add to the size and the weight of the picture that you're trying to create. Now the first thing we're going to do is to start off painting some ghostly trees in the far distant background, and so the colours that I'm using are phthalo blue, white and a touch of lemon yellow. I've also brought in just a little bit of raw umber just to mix with the phthalo blue to give me some very dark darks. Right, I've just mixed a medium blue with the titanium white and the phthalo blue, and I've also added a little bit of glazing gel and some acrylic extender. So we're going to run a tree down here like that into the background, adding a little bit more phthalo blue here. This really to reflect the fact that we're going further back into the forest. Now I'm going to continue in that vein across here and just complete these background trees. What I've deliberately done is faded out the trunks towards this part of the scene so that it gives an effect of almost misty bushes at the lower part of the trunks. So what I'm going to do now is just build on that. I'm just going to use my trusty little raggedy fan brush, and again with that sort of mid blue mix, and I'll vary it as I go across here. I'm just going to create some little bushes. Take some of the paint off, and it just gives that sort of slightly ragged impression at the bottom of the trees. A little bit of glazing gel. Right, now you can see that I'm just stabbing in with the raggedy brush with different mixes, just adding a little bit more white here and there, and I'm going to leave it at that now, because what I want to do is to start coming forward into this clearing. What I'm going to do here is just paint with the number 5 filbert brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of the white, little tiny touch of the lemon yellow, and we'll throw in a little bit of the acrylic extender. So if I start there like that, oh, that's lovely. And in fact, if we add a little bit more lemon yellow into the foreground like that, it just warms it up ever so slightly. So I'll just spread the rest of it, almost take that paint off the brush by way of spreading the colour out. Okay, we've mixed a strong mix of phthalo blue and raw umber. I think we just add a little bit of that lemon yellow in as well. And we've got the 1-inch brush. We're now going to be really, really daring, and we're going to take this big tree. We'll have it at a slight angle, I think, just so it's running out of the picture like that. Just make sure that I have the tree firmly bedded into the ground. There we go. Now then, how much has that forest been pushed back just because of that one big tree? So let's put a big branch here, like that. And we're going to let that dry. Now while that's drying, I'm going to do another one on this side, not quite as big, because this is going to be the dominant tree in the whole picture. And to recognize that, I've just mixed a little bit of white with this strong phthalo blue mix. We'll run it like that. There we are. That's fine. Right, now you can see that I've added some more white to this deep dense blue, and I've put in some more trees here in the background. We'll just, oh, that's better. That's got a nice little streak of light down it. That's the sort of effect I'm looking for. Here, for example, I'm just going to drag down in that tree there, and underneath that branch, I'm going to drag down quite a light colour. You can see it's only partially mixed, and to make sure that that is properly blended, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch brush without any paint. Well, no, I'll use a little bit of dark paint, which is somewhere between the full depth and this light colour, and I'm now just dragging. I'm almost using the hairs on the brush to create that sort of texture, and it's just to blend out the hard edge pale colour from the almost, it's not jet black, but the intense colour of the phthalo blue. You still get some reflected light coming round the back of the tree like that. Not much, but just sufficient so that the darkest part is here, not right at the edge. Now I'm just going to do the same, just touching up some of these trees in the middle distance here. But before I do that, I just want to create a nice strong middle distance tree. Okay, just putting some dark texture on the back of the tree to make sure it stands out against the area behind it. What I've also done, you can see, is put some shadows in with almost neat phthalo blue, but dragged out in a series of bicycle spokes. Okay, I'm just going to add some leaves here in some of these lower branches. So you can see I'm just splaying the brush like that over this mid blue. Let's see what sort of effect that gives us in a moment or two, particularly in this area. We'll get some highlights catching these leaves. In fact, I think what we'll do is actually add a little bit of the lemon yellow and a little bit of the white to give us a very cool sunlit lemony green. That's a bit better, because you don't want it too bright off center. This is the main area of the picture, and although it's nice to have these leaves showing, you don't want them too dazzling towards the side of the stage, so to speak. Right, you can see now that I've just added a few leaves in. I've put some darker areas in here and some lighter areas, just stabbing on all the time. It's easy to go over the top with this sort of thing, so the trick is knowing when to stop. I think we've gone about as far as we need to go now. I'm just going to finish off now by putting a couple of half figures, just the upper body, as if they're walking up this little pathway over the rise in the ground and down on the other side. And there we go. It's not a forest in a flash, it's not a forest in an instant, but I hope you can see that it's a very atmospheric, very effective forest scene, and that it's one that you can very easily paint with a little bit of perseverance. You can create a wonderful atmosphere in the picture just like that.